Hi everyone, this is Lisa Cronin from It's the Little Things in Card Making, and I'm back with my finished card. This is the glossy accents, the little dots that I made on the acetate, and this is the glaze with the glossy accents that I put on the pieces of the flower. And I put a little bit of, just the tiniest bit of distress ink, just to give it a little dimension, a little bit of depth. And I did that with a small makeup brush. I thought about it and I said, you can really do that with anything. You can do it with a Q-tip. You can do it with a very small blending brush. You can do it with eyeshadow makeup brush. It's so, it's such a small, as long as it's a small applicator, you really can do it with just about anything. But with this card, I sandwiched the acetate window in between the card base and the card front. And this saying, I love it, when someone we love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. And inside, may the fond memories be with you always. And I wanted something behind this flower, but I didn't want it to show from the outside. So I cut a piece of cardstock, the same die, but I cut the frame off of it. And I just put the flower inside, and I did a little bit of Spectrum Noir clear sparkle pen. And it's very subtle, but it makes it special, as the memories would be special. They would be a treasure. So what I also did is, because I had sandwiched the acetate between the two card pieces, it was kind of depressed. It was lower. The level was lower than the front of the card. So what I did was I cut another die cut, the same one, but I took the flowers off, and then I just set the frame just to give it a better structure, to look better. And I did the same thing for the inside. I didn't think this looked too bad because I used double stick tape on the whole thing. You really can't see any glue. You can see the pieces, but that's fine. I didn't like the way it cut on the back when I first made the square, or I'm sorry, the rectangle. So what I did was I made a small frame to just kind of hide what I didn't like, kind of ragged edges. And that finishes this card. Very simple card. I think it says a lot. I think it's very pretty. And yeah, so that's this card. I hope you like it. We're going to make another window card. I'm going to make another window card. But this time we're going to do it differently. The sympathy card was with the acetate in between the card front and the card base. This time I'm going to make a card with the base of the card sandwiched in between the frames of the die. So it's a little different. So the acetate was in between two pieces of cardstock, and now the acetate is going to be between the frames of the die. So it's a little different. Now, what I did a lot of die cutting. I did a lot of preparing for this video. Birds and Blossoms is the name of the die, and it is from Memory Box. It's a Memory Box die, and it's very pretty. It's two little birds. I lost that die in the process of making this card, but I was able to get one pass out of it before I lost them. I'll find them, and I'm sure they're here somewhere. But I did a lot of cutting. Now, I'm going to say that there's some planning involved here because we need circles that are 3 different sizes. In this case, because there's a frame, we only needed them in 2 different sizes, but typically you would need 3 different sizes. One would be to cut out from the base, and that would be the smallest circle. Then we need one for the acetate, and this is the acetate that I'm going to be using. And it came out of this embossing folder. Took a piece of acetate, put it in the embossing folder, ran it through, and this is what I got. And it's kind of stained glass looking without doing all the work with the dots, even though that really goes fast. But yeah, so this is the acetate that we're going to be using. I'm going to set it behind in the back of the card front. And yeah, so this needs to be a little bigger than the opening on the card. It needs to be bigger, which it is. It's bigger. Not by much, because I also needed it to be smaller than the frame. So here's the frame. So this is the die cut. And I needed it to be smaller than the frame so that the frame can hide all of the workings behind it, all the glue or the tape or what have you. So typically you need 3 different sizes. What I did do, because I couldn't find exactly the right size, I found a die that was exactly the circumference, the outer circumference of this die. And then I put some tape, and then I cut it. And I put double stick tape, and then I cut it a little bit because I felt it was just too close to the edge, and if I didn't position it right, it's going to show, and that would be a problem. So I did cut it a little bit, by hand. So the reason why you see this here is because I wanted to show you something. And if I was to start from the beginning and show you, we wouldn't finish this card, and I want to finish this card. Okay, so this is the die in full. When it comes out of the die, it looks like this. And I'm going to take out all the pieces that we're not going to be using. Now, I had already done this, and it's already on the card, but I wanted to show you something. Something that I do. So this we're not going to be using. And I've already mounted this onto my card, but I wanted to show you something. When, okay, I have my shim piece stuck to it. Do I? I thought I did. Thought I did. Okay, I guess I don't. All right, so this was my shim piece too. This white. Maybe it's there. It's just very, very, very stuck together. And I don't know why that would be, but wow. There it is. There's that shim piece, and it's creating a little bit of a problem for me. I'm going to take it off. And we talked about how I die cut and put a shim in. And that usually the die cut itself is stuck to the shim. So this is an example of that. And I do it because I get a better cut and I don't lose any pieces. Okay, so when it comes out of the die, it looks like this. And it's very pretty. It's very pretty. However, we're going to see the back of this because it's a peekaboo window. When you open it up, you're going to see the back of it. So even though I'm going to put another die cut behind this when I'm done, specialty papers and pattern papers, they have a white core. So anytime you cut pattern paper or specialty papers, you're going to see that white core, the inside of the paper. And I'm just waiting one day for a company to say, you know what? Why don't we use the same color cores we use for the paper? Because then I wouldn't have to do what I usually do. So, looking for it now. It was right here. How did I lose it? Here it is. Nope. Okay. It was upside down. There it was. Okay, so because we're going to see the back of this die cut on the window, I took my Tombow water base black marker and I made it black. And the reason why I did that is because when I back this inside, and I'm going to be backing it so that the inside looks, nice and neat. When I back it inside, you're still going to, no matter how hard I try to hide the mess from the front part of the card, you're still going to see some of that white. And especially because I have these popped up, you would see the white behind this. So all I do, very quickly, just go over it with the black pen. And not only that, but I also do the edges. This is such a little thing, and always go from the back of the die, the die cut. This is such a little thing, but this is a tremendous addition to making a card look finished. And I love that. Anytime you use specialty card, you're going to get that white core. Anytime you're using any kind of glitter card, you're going to get that white core. And if you, ever cut black glitter and saw the white, it just doesn't look finished. It looks like it wasn't thought of, to finish the card. So this is something that I do. I've already done it. I've done it on this card already. So it's like completely black. All the edges are black. The back of it is black. This just makes the card look more professional. And it really doesn't take that long. So I kind of wanted to let you know that that's one of the things that I do. Okay, so I told you about the die. And I told you about the acetate, how I put it into the folder and put it through my machine. So we're going to put that aside. And I told you about the different circumferences, the different sizes that we need. I'm going to put this aside, and then I'm going to tell you what I did here. I cut out, because I knew that I was going to want these popped up. And I cut out three of those dies. And then I cut off some frames off the two black ones. So all I did was I took the die, I took a straight edge knife, and all I did was follow the circle around, hoping you can see me. Follow the circle around just in 2 points. It's like really easy. Just go over it a couple of times. Then go over it a couple of times. And this is the same color as the card base. And then what happens is you end up with a very nice frame. So I think, and I'll use these pieces, that is still in the die cut. I'll use them. But that's how I did that. So I took 2 black ones and I took 1 gold one and I placed them down. Now, excuse me, the circle is almost the same exact size. The circle of the frame is almost the same exact size as the hole that I cut into the card, the inside of that frame. So it fit beautifully. So all I did was I put 2 frames, 2 black frames. First I put one black frame down, then I put the second one down to build it up. Then I put this piece complete, frame and all. I put it down, I glued it down, and then I glued my gold one on top of that. So my tree branches, they're not just glued in, they're part of this whole frame. And that gives them, it gives them stability, and the structure is there. I mean, nothing is falling out because it's all attached. So that's what I did there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my acetate piece, and I'm going to put my acetate piece. First I'm going to put a nonstick sheet in, because these have, you know, the little foam dots on behind it. And I am just going to place it here. And I want to make sure that we don't see, so it's a little bigger, and I want to make sure that we don't see any of the tape when you look through the front. And this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to take the release paper off here, and I want the inside of the card to look nice and clean and finished. And then I'm going to take, where's my black one? Seriously? It's right here. Okay. So I'm going to take this die cut complete, and I am going to lay it inside the back of the card. And I'm going to have to do that with glue, even though I really don't like to use glue on acetate or foils. So, see, this is what I was talking about. We have to turn it around, and we're going to see the back side of it. Now, if we have to see the back side. There's no other way to do it. But it looks clean. It looks neat. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some adhesive. This is the flat side when I put it through the embossing folder. You know, there's a raised side. This is the raised side. This is the flat side. So I have no problem gluing this down. And I'm not going to glue the whole thing down. I'm just going to attach the frame and put a little glue wherever, you know, there's a flower or a leaf. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to glue this down because there's double stick tape on it. And just to be on the safe side, we are just going to put a little bit of liquid glue. And this is Gina Connect glue. It's very good glue. Great applicator. And I'm going to play dangerously, and I'm going to glue my pieces down now. And you really need so little of this. So what I'm doing is I'm gluing onto the good side. If it was symmetrical, if both sides were exactly the same, then there'd be no problem. I could use the front side, but I have to use the back side because it's not symmetrical. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to hide that raw edge, that raw circle edge, and then I'm going to take all my little flowers, put them into place so that they go right on top, or actually right behind the leaf and the flowers that are on the front of the window. And you can see when I was talking about, you can't really see any white because I put that black marker behind it. So it gives it a much neater look. I'm trying to hold these in place just a minute or so. Gonna shift that frame a little bit. So I think it's important that your back looks as finished as your front. So this is the front, and you really can't see that there's, you know, if you turn it this way you can, but looking at it, you can't see that there's something behind it. Okay, carry on, Lisa. This is a 50th anniversary card. So what I've done is I've taken a heart, and I've taken a smaller heart in gold, and I made a flag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this so that and I probably am going to have to cut something off. I'm thinking part of the heart. Should I bring it down? If I brought it down, I can get more. Yeah, that's better. So the design is going to look like this. Pretty much like that. I will probably pop up the heart. I'm going to put this right onto that 50, right onto the black heart, and I emboss this 50 with black embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. It's the only black embossing powder I've ever used that doesn't make a mess. So this is going to lay flat. This is going to be popped up on top of it. So now what I want to do is I want to kind of glue let me glue the back of this because this is going to be on the card itself. Well, I guess it's going to have to go that way now. And let's see if we can fit this on. Here's my 50. Kind of like it like that. You know, I think maybe yeah, I like it like that. And I'm going to pop this up just with a little foam dot, just right around here. And then I have my little birds. And they're going to be sitting on a branch. How cute, right? And there's my little bird. And these are mirror images of each other. So what's really cute is you can make a spinner card, or, you know, it's great when you have a mirrored image of something. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of glue, and I am just going to mount them on the branch. And if I need to reinforce it, I will. But for now, this is what we got. How cute are they? And if I wanted a little bit, these are little dots that I make. So if I want to put a few little dots around, I can. And boy, this video is long. Okay, what I wanted to do with the white piece, because I die cut out a white piece as well, is I wanted to use the flowers from this piece and mount them onto the card. And I'm working quickly here. So I would just put a dot of glue, and they don't have to be on top of each other. You know, it doesn't have to be exact. It's okay if it's offset a little bit, that actually looks nice. Just a little dot. And the other ones, we don't want to lose them. Okay, so this one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. And this one will go up here. And then what I wanted to do was take the smallest of these little dots that I made, that I die cut, just put them on the center of each one of those flowers, just to put a little more gold in. And I want the smallest ones. So again, this is what I was talking about when you're going to do any kind of an inlay type thing. You know, you have everything here. It's all here. You don't have to look for it. Just got to pick it out and put it down. And guess what? I think I'm going to handwrite a greeting inside, because this is for a neighbor and her husband. So I like little handwritten notes. Okay. So basically, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I don't know if you could see it. And maybe a couple of little dots around it. But I think it's very pretty. I happen to like the color choices. And, you know, for a 50th anniversary, a golden anniversary, I think this is great. So, for now, 27 minutes. Let's see what YouTube does. Thank you for stopping in. Thanks for your likes and comments. Please share. You know, if you need anything, if you need to know where I've gotten any of the supplies, by all means, comment. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for your subscriptions. It means so much to me. Until we meet again, remember, it's the little things in card making. And I really hope I didn't screw up this video. Good night.